if you think that emancipating a woman is giving her a free gas cylinder, then it is going to be a futile exercise.
आप बहुत proactive रही हैं ground पे in Hathras and in Agra, in Lakhimpur Kheri. How do you convince people that it's not optics?
Well, it's not optics. This is Priyanka Gandhi for Brut.
You've been associated with politics all your life, but we'd like to understand why 2019 and what was the reason behind that officially.
I used to joke in my family and say I'm the appendix to the dynasty. Please leave me out of it, because I genuinely felt that I wanted to live my own personal life, and I felt that there were enough of us in politics. I started feeling that I can't just sit around when everything that those who fought for our freedom and our constitution, everything was being brought into question. What has my journey been? Mm-hmm. Very interesting, actually. Actually, being in politics is a very different experience, and I have really learned a lot. It's shocking how much I've learned, actually.
How would you say it's a different experience, if I may put in terms of after formally coming in or hitting the ground, really?
I think there are a lot of sort of dynamics that one only understands when one is actually fully involved in politics. We haven't been in power in UP for 30 years. So our organization structurally was very weak. So for example, we had a committee at the state level, which is an executive committee, which was over 500 people. So my first question was, this is an executive committee, it's meant to work, report back, take responsibility. So how do you even call regular meetings of 500 people and hold them accountable for what they're doing? So I started off saying, okay, we have to reduce this to 50, we'll get young people. So I went at it a bit like a sledgehammer. Then I also realized that no, there are people there who have been there for 20 years, 30 years, who have been holding the party flag up. They should not be cut out of this process. They have to be involved as well.
Would you say that you are the Chief Ministerial candidate?
We haven't taken a call on who is going to be the Chief Ministerial candidate yet, but when we do, you'll be sure to find out.
Do you think fighting on development and putting the woman at the center with what Congress is fighting UP elections, would that be enough?
Well, whether it's enough or not remains to be seen. My job is to do it and to fight for what I believe in, and I'm doing that. If you look at, let's say, since this Ladki Hoon Lad Sakti Hoon, we started, maybe it would be a month ago, and then we released the manifesto. Let's see what effect it has had on the other political parties. The Khilesji has announced certain measures for women. The Rashtra Lokdal has also announced. Modi ji yesterday had his first ever all-women's rally in which he made a bunch of announcements. So what's happening here? What's happening is that the discourse is changing. What's happening is that by bringing women into the forefront as a force, we are saying you cannot ignore them.
So don't you think in some measure Nitish Kumar did it in Bihar in terms of banning alcohol because women wanted it, it was part of his manifesto, of course, or say the BJP in the Lok Sabha elections did it afterwards with Ujjwala Yojana under Swachh Bharat Abhiyan?
So if you think that emancipating a woman is giving her a free gas cylinder, then it is going to be a futile exercise, because you're not emancipating a woman. So if you're actually looking to emancipate a woman and to get her to stand on her own feet, you want her to be strong, then you have to put in the right measures for her to be able to be strong, which is what we are trying to do. So ours is not for this election, let's do something that makes all the women vote for us exercise. Ours is a serious exercise where we are recognizing the power of women. We are telling them, get up, stand up for your own rights, and make the change, because you can. Of all people, actually you can. You're 50% of the population. People here, it's a caste-ridden society, and also religion is very sort of played up in politics and all that. People talk in terms of, we are so many people, you can get so many votes. Why not women? Why not women? Why is nobody even willing to look at them as a serious political force? Why? How can the political party that is in power actually believe their biggest flagship program for women is a free gas cylinder? I mean, seriously, guys. You know, how can they actually get away with that? We're letting them get away with that.
आप बहुत proactive रही हैं ground पे in Hathras and in Agra, in Lakhimpur Kheri. How do you convince people that it's not optics?
Well, it's not optics. So I think people are instinctively understand. They understand whether you're actually doing something because you care about it and you believe, or you're doing Nautanki. I think people have a good inner compass. When I went to Unnao, that it really changed my perspective, because I went to meet the family of this girl who had been raped, and she had been burnt and killed after that. Everything possible had happened to that family. They had burnt the father's fields, they had dragged him out of his house and bashed him up. They had threatened her 9-year-old niece. They had threatened her bhabhi. They had beaten up her sisters and brothers. They had accused her and vilified her. In fact, when I went there, a large section of the village was not on her side, was on the side of the people who had committed the crime. But when I was talking to them, the father was telling me that this girl, despite all of this happening, despite everything, despite even living in a village where most people were vilifying her, she was getting up in the morning every day to go and fight her case. She had to take a train to the other district, Raebareli, because they didn't take up her case in Unnao. So she would tell her dad that, नहीं पिताजी मैं अपने आप चली जाऊंगी, अकेली जाऊंगी, मैं लड़ लूंगी, मैं कर लूंगी, आप फिक्र मत करो. That spirit I have seen everywhere.
A lot of political pundits and writers have called you the street fighter really when it comes to UP. You were the first to reach try to reach Lakhimpur Kheri.
I'm very happy to hear this, because so far I was told they were calling me tourist. So I'm glad I have now graduated from tourist to street fighter in their minds. I think every woman is a street fighter at some level.